Hey guys, so I built a n8n workflow using Google's latest AI generation model called Google Nano Banana. Definitely a creative name plus for that. But anyways, guys, this is a really small update, but really big one in a sense. So it's a, a fairly small model from Google, but really huge impact, guys, okay? So what it can do, basically, it can change environments, right? Or add objects or products into a hand, guys. So if you look at the screen right here, this was an image of me in my living room, sitting in front of my computer, and I said, hey, can you add a Red Bull bottle in my hand, okay? And this is what it did, guys, okay? And what I want you to pay attention to is that it didn't deform my face, okay? It didn't make me a different person, because we all know that when we try to do something less with ChatGPT or other AI models, they're gonna deform your face or your character to the point that you don't look like yourself or honestly anybody else, right? So a completely different person. What I love about Nano Banana, that it actually does such a good job in terms of, like, it doesn't hallucinate with the content or quality of the content, right? So it actually does what you ask it to do. So I said, hey, can you add a Red Bull can into my hand? And it actually did. So I didn't actually provide two images. I didn't send image of myself and Red Bull can. I just said add a Red Bull can, and it did, guys. Okay, and it's pretty cool in terms of like quality. So if we look at the can actually is a proper Red Bull can. Okay, we have the Red Bull branding and the colors. Everything is on point, right? And it even added my own hands that look like proper hands, without adding like 6 or 7 fingers. Because guys, if you see here, you can't really see my hands right here on the below picture, the original picture, and here it added hands and the Red Bull can. Okay, guys, so here I want you to stop for a second and imagine you are a DTC or Shopify brand or small e-commerce brand as a general, right? And you want to create product images for your brand, but now you don't want to be in front of a picture, or you don't want to hire people, or maybe you are on a budget and you just can't afford that. Okay, so now you can do this with Google Nano Banana AI model. And guys, it's actually super cheap. So let me just kind of show you in a sense of the pricing. So if I go to File API, and File basically has a bunch of APIs for all the AI models out there in one place. It's more of a techie stuff, guys. But again, my point is really here. If I go here to Nano Banana, okay, for the image editing, that's the one we want to look at. Okay, it's only costing a 0.039 cents for image. Okay, again, this is actually image that accepts two images and can stitch them together. But the one we are using is even cheaper. Okay, the one we are using is the one that simply lets you edit the images. Okay, so I believe it's going to be this one right here. Okay, so there's some research. So if we're going based on the official API cost, so essentially for 1024 by 1024, we are roughly looking at 12 or 1300 tokens, which basically equals to 0.039 cents, which is exactly what the File AI is charging. I'm not sure how they're making any money out of it, but anyways, they are basically charging the same API cost right here. But also they have a preview or / free version. So you can go and use Nano Banana through their Gemini Studio, I believe, right? And you can use this model for free for quite a few times, guys, okay? It's still in the preview mode, so I believe there's a lot of free uses that you can have through a Gemini Studio. But again, in our case, we're gonna be using it in n8n, guys, and I'm using the API directly from the Google, right? And the way it works in the n8n, I'm using OpenRouter. And OpenRouter, guys, essentially is something like API platform, which gives you access to every single API out there, right? So it's really useful because basically you create an account and then you just basically mention in the JSON right here which model you want to use, okay? Or even if you're using one of their official nodes. So if I go here and I click on add node, guys, and I do OpenRouter chat model, so that mostly if you want to use for a agent, stuff like that, for chat purposes, okay, I can choose all these models from a single drop down. So that's kind of cool thing about OpenRouter, because you have access to all the models from a simple drop down, or really from the selection to their APIs right here, and you can find all the list in the doc right here. So the official name for it is actually Gemini 2.4, 2.5 Flash Image Preview. So that's the Google Banana, right? It's more of a marketed commercial way of saying it, but that's essentially it. So if I go here, okay, under Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview, I click on API, okay. Here we're gonna see the HTTP address for it. So here it is, guys, Google/Gemini image preview, right? And if I go to my model here, this is essentially exactly the same thing. And that's how you can get the API endpoints from OpenRouter, guys, okay? Again, you can create an account and start for free. It doesn't cost too much. You're going to be charged per usage. You can go to their pricing and kind of see how it goes. But again, it's fairly cheap if you're doing just, stuff like that and basics. It's a really good deal, guys. Definitely check out OpenRouter. But then again, stick around until end of the video because I'm going to actually show you exactly how each node works, how to create accounts with the APIs and stuff like that, guys. So if you watch until the video, then I'll describe and show you everything that you need to have. And in addition, you're going to be able to download the Start JSON template for free, guys. Okay. So again, let's go back to the preview. I want to show you a couple more things, guys. So this was the Red Bull case, right? So if I go here, it's also really good for changing environments, right? So here it's me in the living room, and I said, hey, can you place me in a room, basically a gaming room, okay? And it did the same thing, right? Did pretty good job, guys. So again, it didn't distort my face or didn't deform any parts of my face or facial expressions. Really good, guys. Really good job there. In terms of the output quality. Again, so really good, guys. If you want to do product static images for a Shopify store, or maybe just for yourself, for the clients, if you're doing like UGC stuff, really useful to A/B test different content types without really putting too much efforts into the design phase, right? Changing environments, placing products, replacing products. So you can have a model that holds a specific product, and then you can swap it with Nano Banana, different product, change the colors and stuff like that. So this is what Nano Banana is really good and shining at, guys. Okay, so again, this is really cool flow, guys. Let me now kind of walk you through how it works, node by node, so I can explain you how to work with it, because once you download the template, you need to know the basics of n8n. So if you want to change some stuff for yourself, for your client, or maybe for your brand, then you will need to know the basics, how to operate this workflow, okay? All right, so everything starts with the Telegram node. I'm not gonna give you a full breakdown of Telegram setup. If you guys wanna learn how to set up Telegram bots and how to create your access tokens and stuff like that, check out my YouTube channel. I have dedicated videos and tutorials from A to Z, where I'm taking you from A to Z on how to set up Telegram, how to integrate that with your n8n, and how to connect all the dots, guys. Definitely check out my YouTube channel and look for Telegram video. And also, I will actually tag that into description or comment section, guys. I don't know which one, so check it out. So yeah, guys, for full Telegram tutorial, make sure to check out my YouTube channel because I got one over there. All right, so everything happens through Telegram. Once we send an image through Telegram, it's going to use, again, Telegram node called get, meaning that we're going to be downloading or getting that image from the Telegram, right? So that's essentially does what it does. So upload to Telegram, get the image from Telegram, and for that we're using an expression. So let me give you a live preview of how that works. So if I actually open executions, here we can see when the flow ran and how it ran. So for example, here I uploaded an image. You can see this is all the data coming from Telegram. Then we are using get Telegram node, okay? And it's essentially getting a image. If I click on preview, you guys can see it's also image of me that I generated with AI in front of a sports car in Dubai, okay? And then I basically asked it to change a sports car in the background. I'll show you exactly how that panned out at the end. So again, here we're using a file ID, and file ID is basically being pulled from here, okay? You can basically just take this JSON object and drag it in here, or you can type it manually if you want to, but it's gonna take a while. But you can simply just take this JSON object right here, drag it in here, or an array. So all these are draggable blocks. Whichever the data you want to use as expression, or whichever the data is relevant, you're going to take it from here and drag it in here. And that's essentially how we are getting the image in here. So the data is being fed from here into the expression field right here, and then we can see it on the output, right? So then we're getting that. And then what's really important, we need to convert the image into a binary or base64. Sorry, well, base64 is technically sort of a binary data in a sense. So we take an actual image because computers don't see images as we do. They just see binary. Okay, so I'm converting that to a binary, which is basically a bunch of gibberish, but that's the code that they understand. So all of that being converted into binary, it's still an image, but in a computer language, in a sense. And for that, we're using a convert a photo to base64. Okay, that's essentially all this node does. Move file, which is this, we're moving file to a base64 string. And again, the base64 is a string-based binary computer code. Okay, so now we need to convert the binary data into URL because HTTP node right here accepts URLs. Okay, it's not gonna accept a just like a data binary code. Okay, so for that we're using a code node. Okay, in this case we're gonna be using JavaScript, and here basically taking the items, which is basically all these items here. Okay, input all, so we're taking all the items. Okay, we're invoking a constant function on JavaScript. Okay, and then we're gonna basically map through all of the items. Okay, and here we are considering all the edge cases, right? So we want to consider that picture could be a JPEG, could be a PNG, could be a GIF, could be a WebP, right? So all the formats. So this way we don't crash the workflow because, for example, if we're only accepting PNG and we send JPEG, it's going to crash the workflow. So we are making sure to work with all the image formats out there, right? So all this really, in simple terms, all this code node does, it just takes the data binary and converts it to a URL binary, okay? Because we need a URL to send it to HTTP because HTTP nodes work with the URLs, right? We need to send an actual URL to the API. So we can send that to OpenRouter, and then we can basically work with an image, okay? That's in a basic nutshell. Then again, we need to parse, or basically, in a sense, kind of take in the response from the HTTP node, which is basically coming from AI, from Gemini's AI HTTP endpoint. So for that, we're taking the base and parsing that into a string. And again, if you look here, image URL right here, that's essentially what it is. You can basically take this entire block and drag it in here. And that's how we got this expression right here. So we're taking this URL, which again is sort of a, it's a URL data, okay, from the HTTP. So now again, we need to convert it back into a binary or base, right? So we're taking the URL image URL for here from the HTTP node, and then we're again converting that to a binary, okay? And then we're gonna convert base64 to an actual binary. So guys, here we're doing the vice versa, right? So here we're doing vice versa. So here we parse the A response. That was a binary or base64. Then we're setting it to a base64 to binary, but again, it's not actually that. Here, if you look at the operation, we are moving the base64, or basically we're taking the binary and converting that to a string file, okay? Which is basically base64 binary to a data, okay? And this data is essentially the PNG or the image, okay? I hope you guys didn't confuse you. If I did, let me know down in the comments which part you didn't get it, guys, and I'm gonna answer you in the comment section, okay? Okay, so once we convert the base to data, now we have the data, and the data is the PNG file, right? So if I view that, here I have the final output. So if you guys remember, original image was right here. So here I'm in front of a black car, and here is the final result. Sorry guys, is this right here? Here I am in front of a gray car, which is a Lamborghini. Okay guys, so that's how it works, really cool. You guys can see nothing else changed, really just the object in the background changed exactly what I asked. So really cool guys, Nano Banana is definitely a cool thing to use, especially guys if you are in advertising field or A/B testing products, DTC e-commerce, definitely a gold mine for a fraction of a cost, guys. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to download this entire JSON template for free, and make sure that you actually watch the video how to use it. Otherwise, if something needs to be changed, something's gonna break, you're not gonna know how to do it. So again, if it happens in any case, let me know down in the comments what's the problem, what's the error message. I'm gonna help you out, guys, personally, right? Or if you need to adjust it for your business needs, also let me know in the comments how you want to go about it, what change you want to do, and I'm gonna help you out. If not, guys, as always, I'm gonna say thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and enable those notifications so you get notified when the next video like this drops, guys. Okay, and I'm gonna wish you happy building, and you already know I'm gonna see you next time.